Something is changing, slowly, quietly, but undeniably, not just in war, but in the way we talk about war. Pay attention, because this shift is subtle, at first. Leaders aren't just using strategy anymore. They aren't just talking about defense, or retaliation, or policy. They're using something older, something deeper. They're using God. And when war becomes sacred, it stops being negotiable. And that is where things become dangerous. Across the world, you can feel it building, not just conflict, but conviction. Words like destiny, chosen, divine right, sacred land. These are not political words. These are identity words. And identity is something people don't compromise on, because when belief is tied to who you are, losing the argument feels like losing yourself. We've seen this before. Civilizations rising under the belief that they were chosen, armies marching under the belief that God was on their side. The Crusades weren't just battles over land, they were framed as holy missions. Not just justified, sanctified. And when something is sanctified, questioning it becomes almost impossible, because you're no longer questioning a leader, you're questioning God. We like to believe we've evolved past this, that we're more rational now, more logical, more advanced. But beneath all of that, the human mind hasn't changed. We still divide the world into two sides, us and them. And once that line is drawn, everything else follows: loyalty, fear, justification. Because if they are the enemy, then we must be the solution. The psychologist Carl Jung had a name for this. He called it the shadow. The part of ourselves we don't want to see. The parts that feel uncomfortable, aggressive, selfish, capable of destruction. So instead of facing it, we project it onto other people, other groups, other nations. They become the darkness, so we can remain the light. And once that story is accepted, everything changes. Because if they are evil and we are righteous, then anything becomes justified. But beneath all of this, beneath the language, the belief, the symbolism, war is still what it has always been: territory, resources, power, control of land, control of energy, control of influence. Strategy decides the war, but belief sustains it. Because people don't fight the hardest for land. They fight for meaning, for identity, for something they believe is sacred. And this is where it becomes dangerous. A political war can end with negotiation. Terms can be discussed. Agreements can be made, compromises can happen. But a sacred war cannot, because compromise feels like betrayal. And peace feels like surrendering something divine. And when people believe that, they don't step back, they don't question, they don't stop. The tattooed monkey doesn't pick sides. It watches patterns, it studies behavior, it observes without becoming consumed. Because the moment you believe you are purely right, you stop seeing clearly. And the moment you stop seeing clearly, you become part of the pattern. The question isn't who wins. It's not who's right. It's not even who started it. The real question is, can you stay conscious in a world that keeps choosing sides?